Matt Rule's first season as Carolina Panthers head coach is officially over, but the winds of change are just beginning to blow here in Charlotte.
Shh. Do you hear that? It's the winds of change.
I'm Josh Scott, and I have Carolina on my mind.
DeLone fires to an open Smith. Steve Smith is going to go all the way. No flags down. Smith scores, and the Carolina Panthers win in overtime.
On a 3rd and 14.
Newton running. Newton gets to the corner. Cam down the sideline. Cam Newton. Hesitation. Still on his feet. Cam Newton. Touchdown, Carolina. What a play.
3, and here they come. It's Kuechly who gets the Manning back at the 9.
Newton to the end zone. What a catch by Greg Olsen. Spectacular. And she loses the football. Scooped up by Burns. Brian Burns to the house.
McCaffrey picks up the first down. Has some room. Makes a man miss. Christian McCaffrey in the open field. Inside the 30. Inside the 20. McCaffrey touchdown.
Once again, I'm Josh Scott, and welcome to the first installment of the Carolina On My Mind podcast, where we talk anything and everything Carolina Panthers. As I mentioned in the intro, the 2020 season is unofficially over. The regular season is over, and hard to believe a lot of people didn't think we would make it to this point. I can remember a few months ago, a lot of people were speculating on whether the NFL was going to have a season at all. Looking forward to what should be a, no pun intended, wild weekend of games as the playoffs start on Saturday. I'm in particular looking forward to the rematch between the Steelers and the Browns now that Ben Roethlisberger is back at quarterback for the Steelers. And of course, the big news this week that 8 of Cleveland's coaching staff has come down with the coronavirus, including head coach Kevin Stefanski. And it'll be interesting to see how the Browns handle the pressure after making the playoffs for the first time since 2002. I was pretty happy for them, to say the least. They deserve to make it. Comment below which games you're most excited for, or if you're just like me where you're looking forward to just seeing some good games. Well, as you can tell, I bear Carolina blue. I'm a big Panthers fan, and I appreciate the pity that you must feel for me right now. I really do, in the fact that my team missed the playoffs for the third straight year. Third straight year that we've missed the postseason, missed contending for a Super Bowl. And it sucks. It's hard to believe that that magical 2015 season was such a long time ago. Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, Greg Olsen, players I showed in the intro, were leading us to a Super Bowl. And boy, have things changed since then. It's clear that we have turned a corner. We are beginning a new era here in the Carolinas. This past offseason featured a major overhaul and changes for the Panthers franchise, including hiring new head coach Matt Rule, formerly of the Baylor Bears and the Temple Owls, leading both college programs to success by the end of their third seasons. We hired former quarterback coach out of LSU, Joe Brady, to be our new offensive coordinator. We hired Phil Snow as our new defensive coordinator, also formerly of the Baylor Bears. He brings in over 40 years of coaching experience on the defensive side of the football, both on the pro and the college level. And on top of all that, we signed a new quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints, to replace 9-year QB Cam Newton. Lots of changes being made for this franchise, and we're going to break down what went well in this season and what went wrong. But before we do, I have an icebreaker segment for you guys. I'm going to begin each show with this as our official first segment, so to speak. It's called Question of the Day. And the question of the day to you guys is, who is your favorite Panthers player? Is your favorite player a player of the past, such as Jake Delhomme, or Steve Smith Sr., or Jordan Gross? Is he a more recent name, such as Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, Greg Olsen? Or is he currently playing for the team right now, like Christian McCaffrey, Brian Burns, or DJ Moore? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I will let you know at the end of the video who my favorite Carolina Panthers player is. But for now, let's move on to the next segment of the show and analyze what I think went wrong and what went right for the Carolina Panthers in the 2020 season. It's a little segment I like to call Pros and Cons. Starting off my pros list here, our 5-11 record. This is the third straight season we've gone 5-11, and I consider that to be a pro due to the fact that a lot of people didn't think that we would have 5 wins this season. A lot of people believed that we were going to be in the position that the Jacksonville Jaguars are currently in right now, when that we were going to be projected as the team to hold the number 1 pick in the draft come April. We end up holding the 8th pick instead. So we weren't as bad as people thought we were, but at the same time, we do end up getting a good draft pick. But overall, I think the fact that we went 5-11 this season is a decent record, to say the least. Mike Davis's emergence. Listen, Mike Davis had a heck of a season. Pro Football Focus actually voted him the most improved player of the year. Mike Davis ran for 642 rushing yards and had 6 touchdowns as well. He averaged just under 4 yards per carry. In receiving, he had 373 yards as well as 2 touchdowns. All of those are career highs for this guy. And listen, when Christian McCaffrey went down, the Panthers needed somebody to step up, and Mike Davis clearly stepped up. In my opinion, he's earned a starting spot on the active roster come 2021. So kudos to Mike Davis for stepping up and doing a great job in Christian McCaffrey's absence. Next on the list, I have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson accounting for over 1,000 yards receiving in this season. And for DJ Moore, this is the second season in a row where he has had over 1,000 yards receiving. For Robbie Anderson, it's his first career season, and both of these guys had a heck of a season, and were definitely highlights of our offense. And I'm looking forward to seeing how both of these guys continue to impact our offense in the future. We talked about Mike Davis stepping up when Christian McCaffrey went down, and so did Curtis Samuel. Not only did Samuel account for 851 receiving yards as well as 3 touchdowns, he also had 200 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And a lot of people forget that Curtis Samuel was a running back when he played for Ohio State in college. Curtis Samuel did a heck of a job this season, and I'm hoping that we can keep him. Moving on to who I think should be the defensive rookie of the year in Jeremy Chin, the rookie safety out of Southern Illinois. And here's a reason why I have him in bold on this list. He led the team in total tackles this season with 117, had 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections, 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 2 touchdowns out of those fumble recoveries. A lot of talent and a lot of potential here. I can't wait to see Jeremy Chin back on the field for the 2021 season and the impact that he will continue to make for this franchise. The last guy I want to highlight on this list also plays on the defensive side of the ball, and that is Brian Burns. He had 9 sacks this season, which is a career high for him, also accounting for 4 pass deflections and 3 forced fumbles. Considering this guy is only in his 2nd year at the pro level is just incredible. I look forward to seeing the tremendous impact that he will make for this franchise for years to come, and as well as more Spider-Man celebrations. We move on now to my cons list of the 2020 season, and our record is also on this list, and considering the fact that we lost 8 of our 11 games by 1 score, by 1 possession, and it's been very disappointing to see how we have been unable to close games this season, because if we had won those 8 games, we definitely would have been in the playoffs this season. So that'll be something that I hope that this team and this coaching staff will work on in the offseason. Next on my cons list are red zone woes, and part of the reason why we lost 8 of our 11 games this season by 1 possession was the fact that a lot of them came down to scoring in the red zone. I'm looking forward to seeing how this team will adjust in the offseason, because we need to work on our red zone scoring. Joey Sly once again had a very inconsistent season as our field goal kicker. His field goal percentage this season was 80%, which is 23rd among kickers in the league. Extra point percentage, 91, not terrible. His longest kick this season was 56 yards, and he accounted for 120 of our points this season, but Joey Sly got to be more consistent. The dude has a heck of a leg, I'll give him that. Arguably the strongest leg in the league, but if you can't be consistent, then people are going to overlook that. I hope that he will devote this offseason to becoming more consistent, whether it's making a field goal from inside 35 yards or outside of 35 yards. Our offensive play calling at times also is added to this list. Considering Joe Brady is a first-year offensive coordinator, I'll give him that. I can think of a couple of times where on 4th down and 1, we ran the ball up the middle, either with Mike Davis or Alex Arma, the fullback. They just didn't work. And hopefully Joe Brady stays. I like him personally as our offensive coordinator. I hope this season Joe Brady will be able to improve on his offensive play calling and just patch a few things that need to be fixed up. I mentioned individual defensive players who had great seasons this year. As a whole, however, the defense, not great. It allowed 360 yards per game, 120 of them on the ground, and I know that was a big issue for us the last couple of years when it came to stopping the run. Looking forward to seeing how that will improve down the road. But the defense also had 7 total interceptions, 3 of them coming from Dante Jackson. I think if this defense is going to improve more, we will need to force turnovers, especially through the air. Make sure to comment below what you think went wrong or what do you think went right this season for the Panthers. And if I forgot anything on my list, please feel free to add in the comment section below. Well, congratulations, you've made it to the end of the video. And for those who have been waiting for all this time, it's now time for me to go back to the question of the day segment where I reveal who my favorite Panther player is, and that has to be longtime tight end Greg Olsen. I know he's not with us anymore. He's at the Seahawks now, but first tight end to go over 1,000 yards receiving for 3 straight seasons instantly makes you a favorite in my book. And Greg's a super nice guy as well, a class act. And of course, he and his wife started the Hardest Yard Foundation. Make sure to go check that out as well. It's a pretty cool organization, to say the least. But Greg Olsen is my favorite Panthers player. Thank you for watching the first installment of the Carolina On My Mind podcast. Make sure to give this video a like, go subscribe to the channel, and share for more Carolina On My Mind content. Have a great day, and keep pounding.